Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maddie and welcome back to my monthly TBR video where we use my TBR jar to pick out my next reads, and these reads are gonna be for May. But before we get started, let me show you my shirt. I made this shirt. It will be available in my Etsy shop when my Etsy shop opens. So on the front we have these cute little cowboy boots, and then on the back in my cowboy romance era, and I'm in love with it. So I will basically be living in this t-shirt, and it's comfort colors. Love comfort colors. Anyways, I digress. Back to what we are here for. So this month I am going to be getting a puppy, an 8-week-old little lab, and he is going to be a service dog in training, and I have to work on bonding with him. So during May, especially those first 2 weeks after I get him, I have to really put a lot of focus on him. So I'm not going to be picking out as many books as I usually do. In general, I read about nine-ish books a month, and so usually I pick 9 books out of my TBR jar. And on top of that, I have been mood reading a lot, just picking up whatever book sounds good to me. So I haven't been I don't think I finished a TBR this year, which is, oh well, it's not that serious. But I think with that, I am only gonna pick 6 from the TBR jar this month, and that is also because I have a couple of books that I don't own yet that I know I want to read this month. So let's start there, and then we'll actually get into the TBR jar part. So the first book that I want to read in May is Funny Story by Emily Henry, and it just released, but I want to get the paperback version from the UK because it's cheaper in the UK for the paperback, and they already have it, where I don't know if the paperback's available in the US yet, and if it is, it's a lot more expensive. So I have to wait on that. And then I also want to read Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I've read Swift and Saddled by her and I loved it, but I have not read Done and Dusted yet, and she has a new book coming out in the fall, and I just want to go ahead and read Done and Dusted. So those are 2 books that I don't have that I really want to read soon. But as you can see, we have a ton of options on my TBR cart, and I want to get through my TBR before I start at least a lot of these, before I keep just buying books outside of those 2 that I just mentioned. So we have a lot to choose from, so we are gonna go ahead and get started. I'm starting to run out of prompts. Every month that I do how many are prompts, I take them out and put them in a baggie until we're out. So we're almost out, and I think what I'll do is I'll put all those back in. I think I'm gonna add a few. I just have to come up with some, but if you have any prompt ideas, let me know and I'll put them in the jar. Okay, so prompt number 1. Oh gosh, I just dropped it. We have a 5+ word title. Ooh, Trust of the Emerald Sea is 5. How to End a Love Story is 5. We have a lot. I thought at first I didn't have any, but I have a lot. I think I'm gonna go with, oh, this is 6 words. I think I'm gonna go with How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kong. Kong, I think is how you say their name. Because this is a new release and I've heard it's really good. I got it in Book of the Month for my Book of the Month pick for April, and I didn't get to it. So I think we're gonna put this on the TBR for 5+ word title. Pick number 2, a freebie. Okay, so I just get to pick whatever I want to. I have so many I could pick for this one, but I think I'm gonna go with The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle because I have been dying to read this, and it usually doesn't match any of my prompts, so we're gonna go with this one. And all I know is I think it basically, the unicorn lived in a lilac wood and she lived all alone. You're following a unicorn. I don't know, I haven't read anything like that, so I'm very excited for this one. Pick number 3, a debut author. Powerless a debut? Okay, so Powerless is her debut, so for Lauren Roberts' debut. So we are gonna pick this one for that because I have been wanting to read this one for a while now. So this is gonna be our debut author. Pick number 4, a twisted fairy tale. So I think we are going to skip this prompt because I don't have a twisted, well, no, that's not considered a twisted fairy tale. Okay, this is not a twisted fairy tale, but since I don't have one and I want to get through my TBR like physical TBR compared to reading just books on Kindle Unlimited and stuff. I am going to kind of make my own rule on this one. The Ballad of Never After is the second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So I think I'm going to pick this because it is fairy tale-esque. So I think we're just going to use that for this prompt because I don't have a twisted fairy tale on my TBR cart. So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to read this one. Okay, that was prompt number 4. Did I just have a prompt fly out? I don't know. A book that is out of your comfort zone. I feel like Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson might be kind of out of my comfort zone because it's more of like an epic fantasy compared to a romantasy, and I haven't really read a lot of fantasy books, like just regular fantasy. I think I have. I mean, The Throne of Glass was more so regular fantasy compared to romantasy, so I'd say this is probably kind of out of my comfort zone, so we're gonna pick this one up. I don't know. I've never read any of Brandon Sanderson's books, so I think this might be a good place to start. That is 5 picks. I think I am gonna do 6 or 7 just because a couple of these books are shorter and won't take me very long to read, so this is pick number 6. A book that I bought because of BookTube or Bookstagram. Let's go with Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I have heard so much about Abby Jimenez and I haven't read any of her books, so I picked this one up at Half Price Books a few weeks ago, and I think this might be a good place to start. And I was definitely influenced by Bookstagram and BookTube, so this is a good pick. Okay, we are gonna do one more. An arc. Okay, so I have a few e-arcs. You know what? We're gonna forgo this one because, like I said, I want to try to get through my physical TBR. So we're down to 2, and let's see what we are gonna pick. Oh, go buy a used book. Okay, so I don't have time to do that this month right now for this video, so I have some used books on here that I bought at the used bookstore, so let's maybe pick from one of those so I don't actually have to go buy a book. I have the Hurricane Wars, which I bought at Half Price Books. The fine print I got at a used bookstore, 6 of Crows. What do I have? So far I have 2 rom-coms and 4 fantasy books, so I'm thinking let's go with The Fine Print by Lauren Asher because I have a lot of fantasy books going on, so I think we're gonna go with this one. But what's the last one in here? Let's see the last one. Should we just go ahead and do one more prompt to just clean out the jar? Maybe. Oh, a book that has over 500 pages. Wow, perfect. How many is in Magnolia Parks? Magnolia Parks has 506 pages, y'all, and I've been wanting to read this one. So should we just add it? Do we add it? I think we do. Okay. Wow. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a puppy. I'm not going to be able to read that much. And now I've picked 8 books anyways, so it's fine. Okay. Now that we have cleaned out the TBR jar, let's go through the books we picked. So for our debut author, we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Then for a book with a 5+ word title, we have How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kong. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. A freebie, The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. A twisted fairy tale, which I kind of twisted that to my own advantage and picked up The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. A book out of my comfort zone, I picked up Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, which this is a very floppy book and very small, so this is probably longer than it looks. A book that I bought because of BookTube or Bookstagram, and I picked Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Go buy a used book, and since I don't have time to go buy a used book and I already have a lot, I picked The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. And then to just add on to the TBR, I put a book that has over 500 pages, and I picked Magnolia Parks. So there you go, guys. That is 9, 10 books on the TBR. Will I actually get to 10 books this month? I don't know, but I will try, and I will keep y'all updated between reading vlogs, and then at the end of the month I will be trying to make a What I Read in May video, even though I didn't do it for February or March, but that's okay, because at the end of the year I will do a video on all the books I read. But whatever, that is totally off subject. But yeah, there you go, friends. that is what we are reading this month, and I think I am going to try really hard to stick to my TBR because I actually really want to read all these books, so I don't think it'll be too hard to stick to them, but I say that and then I'll probably really struggle, but it's fine. It is what it is. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.